Hello! Well, wouldn't you bloody know it? I spent all this time carefully writing a parody for my Decryptic performance for what I assume would be the next intellectual property house revealed. And they don't reveal it yet, even though it's the one we all know about already. No, instead they reveal 3 original houses and 2 original scare zones. 5 all at once yesterday at noon. So, now I have to do one video that has 5 Decryptic performances. There goes the cat. Decryptic, all at once. A Decryptic Medley. And that's where we're at. And Bob came right over to sing with me. So, having to try to do 5 different parodies of shout tunes and write up new lyrics for them in such short order, I may not have all of them straight in my head. If I have to stop and pause and think about it for a moment, I apologize. But it's a lot, and trying to do all 5 of them at once, and am I making some of this up as I go along? I might, you know, do a little bit of improv here if I find something that sounds better. So, bear with me. I'll try my best. If it sucks, I'll do a take 2, and this, you'll never see this in the first place, right? So I wouldn't even have to mention that, do I? Okay. With all that being said, I now present the delightful Decryptic Medley. After I finish coughing and choking to death. Oh. Sorry about that. Righty then. Let's go for it. It's a quaint dollhouse, just the size for a mouse, and a home for some dainty porcelain dolls. You might think a plaything that's fit for a child. You'd be wrong if you did, 'cause buddy, that kid is evil and wild. She'll lure you in to her domain of sin, and under her spell you'll become enthralled. And your soul she'll deliver, and you'll escape never, as you find yourself damned in the body of a porcelain doll. A doll, a doll, you'll be trapped forever as a porcelain doll. There we go. That was pretty good. Next one. Give us a smile. Giggle with glee. On a killing spree, come with me, and you'll be in a world of brutal mutilations. Flesh is torn, ripped and twisted into bizarre new combinations. We'll begin with a permanent grin, surgically carved, with no sedation. A bizarre, amusing, sick transformation. Like the clown prince of crime, so insane, or something lurking down, floating in a storm drain. And an evil clown, you'll stalk children's dreams, lurking in the night with evil schemes. What about Jack? Any chance he'll be back? Who can say? We may have to wait and see. After all, something must remain a mystery. Okay. Continuing. we sail to this land, our homeland we forsaken. Gold, treasure so grand, we sought out, quite mistaken. Now winter is setting in, our provisions have vanished. We're now contemplating sin, 'cause we're so famished. People can be food, they can be quite delicious. They can taste quite good, and can be nutritious. We'd love to be meeting ya. Come over for dinner. Soon we will be eating ya. What a winner. People can be food. Glorious food, delicious food. We mean you, dude. Ooh, you're gonna get chewed. Alrighty. Now, couple more. Oh yes. Masquerade, stitched on faces on parade. Masquerade. This one really was quite blatant. The name of the song and the name of the zone are the same. Was it really getting all that cryptic? But look out, red herrings swimming by so nasty. Sir Owen Disney is gonna think it's about Insidious, you'll see. Ha ha ha, hee hee hee. Okay, that was a bit evil, but couldn't help it. Alright, what's the last one? The last one? Oh yes. In the bayou, voodoo priestess, gators and snakes are right by you. In the muddy, dirty water of a most sweaty Louisiana swamp where Cajun Creole critters romp. They're gonna mix up a big stew, a gumbo jambalaya for you. But key for when you eat it though, oh my God, is that a human toe? In the bayou. Alright, there we go. I managed to sort it out and do all of them. Not necessarily the way I'd originally rehearsed, a little bit of improv thrown in, but I did it. I succeeded. We did all 5. So, indeed, I don't remember what number was what, but of course the song, Guys and Dolls, from the Broadway musical Guys and Dolls, was a clue for the original house, Dollhouse of the Damned. Again, fairly obvious. It's about dolls and how dolls can take over, although not in the same way, in the same meaning, of course. That's why it was chosen. Although the villainess of the house is a dame, a little short dame, but still, anyway. And in the second one, that was, of course, the clue was pure imagination from the West End musical Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Although most of you probably associate it with the motion picture Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But I chose stage musicals as best as I could. I knew some would mistake that for the doll one because the code word Charlie. And this one was a different code word, smile. Just as I thought people might confuse you never fully dressed and thought it was smile, because for the similar reasons. But it's a song about a factory, and that was the thing, because nobody quite had figured out the house was about a factory at that point when I made the clue. They were thinking carnivals and clowns and odd fellows and dust witches, because some silly girl with a yellow sign was giving out silly clues that didn't quite point in the right direction all the time, did she? But enough of that. Getting back to my own thing, yes, it was meant to point out that it was a factory. Not a chocolate factory, mind you, but a factory for evil clowns. But I had a special secret clue in the video. Remember, that's the one where I walked all around. I was wearing a Batman and Robin t-shirt, a vintage Batman and Robin t-shirt, and I was hoping people might pick up on the fact that the greatest villain of Batman always has been the Joker, who is like the quintessential evil clown. So there you go. Maybe we'd figure that out. I wasn't sure. Now, so that was for the house Giggles and Gore Incorporated, as we now know it's going to be called, the Clown Factory House. The song, Food Glorious Food, of course, was for the colony house, that is the Roanoke colony of cannibals. Back when I made the first video, it was actually thought that the parade building would either be that house or From Dusk Till Dawn, and that they were deciding which of those two would go into that location. As it turned out, they scrapped another house altogether and put From Dusk Till Dawn in that location in the soundstage, so we end up having both. So there it goes, it worked out. Food Glorious Food from the Broadway musical Oliver is, of course, the subject of this particular house, which is about what happens when you run out of food and you're hungry and you start looking at each other and saying yum yum. Yes. Historically accurate, if you look up in the records, not Roanoke, we don't really know what happened there, but in Jamestown, they did resort to cannibalism. And there's some interesting historical records and proof of that. You can look it up online. Google Jamestown cannibalism. You'll find some interesting stuff. They've actually found tooth marks in human bones and stuff to prove it. Yeah. And then we have the scare zones. The Masquerade on Stitch scare zone. I did the Masquerade from Phantom of the Opera, and again, I chose a very obvious, the song Masquerade for the zone called Masquerade. Not spelled exactly the same and a bit unstitched, but still, it was the most obvious of all the clues. But I knew people might assume it would be a house since it was the very first cryptic performance. And furthermore, since I chose the movie lyrics from Phantom of the Opera rather than the stage lyrics, I knew that someone would think of Patrick Wilson and not think Patrick Wilson, the Full Monty. No, they would think Patrick Wilson in Insidious. Yes, you may not remember on Broadway, he once got all naked. But yes, and that would be a rumor that would tempt some people, and even the person I thought would tempt them most is the one who bit the red herring. That's you, Owen Disney. Sorry to call you up, but you did exactly what I expected you to do. Oh, and then there's another one, which was the last one, and that was, of course, the Bayou of Blood, which I knew would be a voodoo Louisiana swamp witches, voodoo queen sort of scare zone with the shack and all of that. Didn't know it was going to be called Bayou of Blood exactly until yesterday, but I knew exactly what it was. And but to give it the proper New Orleans, Louisiana flavor, it really wasn't New Orleans, it's out in the country, but still people tend to associate it that way. And so I chose the song New Orleans from the stage musical, the fictitious stage musical, Oh Streetcar, from an episode of The Simpsons. And I chose that for a couple of reasons. The Simpsons Springfield, USA area is adjacent to Central Park, and that might clue people into where this scare zone was going to be. Also the fact I wore a Bullets Over Broadway t-shirt, which would also suggest to some people a Central Park location, since there was a scene from that in the film version that was set in Central Park, although that was kind of obscure, but it would still point toward that area, I hoped, a little bit. So that's about all I have to say about that. There's still one more decryptic performance video that's already made that I cannot release until the official announcement for the last house happens. And there is There was another cryptic performance I made for a scares, and it looks like it's not happening. And that's the Three Little Maids from School. So I will likely be deleting that in the near future. That being said, there's only one thing left, and hopefully at some point we can all get home. It's, what day is this, Wednesday? Yeah, it's just a little more than a month to Horror Nights, kids. Have fun.